The number one player in the world, Aryna Sabalenka.
The WTA just made a call that has tennis fans completely fired up. Coco Gauff, coming off a year where she became the 8th highest earner in tennis history, was passed over for Player of the Year. Instead, the award went to Aryna Sabalenka. And yes, this is the second year in a row this has happened. As expected, the internet is losing it. The reaction right now is wild. Seriously, drop a comment. Did the WTA make the right choice giving Sabalenka Player of the Year? Or did Coco get straight up robbed? Things are getting messy and everyone has an opinion. So let's break down this whole situation. The WTA officially announced its Player of the Year and Aryna Sabalenka won for the second consecutive year. On the surface, that sounds reasonable. She had an excellent season. But this is where things start to heat up. Coco Gauff, who just topped Forbes' highest-paid female athletes list for the second year in a row and became the 8th highest earner in tennis history, didn't win. And fans are not okay with that at all. If you look at the stats, Sabalenka's case is strong. She reached the most finals with 9, she won the most titles with 4, she also finished the year with the most match wins, totaling 63. On top of that, she set a new single-season prize money record, earning over $15 million purely from tournament play. And just to add to it, she spent the entire year ranked world number 1. That's a massive achievement. But here's the part that's driving fans crazy. Coco Gauff won the French Open, one of the 4 biggest tournaments in tennis, a Grand Slam, the kind of title that's supposed to matter more than anything else in this sport. Aryna Sabalenka did not win a single Grand Slam in 2025, not one, yet she still walked away with Player of the Year. That's the part people can't wrap their heads around.
Hi guys, I'm here with this beautiful world number 1 trophy. I wish I would finish my season a little bit better with the result here in the WTA finals, but I'm super excited and happy to have back this beautiful trophy, and thank you so much for all the support, for all the love throughout the year. I really appreciate it, and I mean, I just have to enjoy that, right?
In the last 15 years, only a few players have managed to win Player of the Year more than once. That's elite territory. The most notable names to do it are Serena Williams and Ashley Barty. So Aryna Sabalenka being added to that list puts her in some very impressive company. She's clearly establishing herself as one of the dominant players in women's tennis, and that shouldn't be brushed aside just because fans are upset. At the same time, the people defending Coco Gauff absolutely have a point. Let's look at what she accomplished this year. She won the French Open, which marked her second Grand Slam title, following her US Open win in 2023. At just 21 years old, she already owns 2 major titles and isn't even old enough to legally drink in the United States. That's not normal. That's generational talent.
Coco Gauff.
When you put all of this together, it's easy to see why people are confused. It almost feels like the WTA is saying, sure, you won the biggest tournament of the year, but did you show up every other week too? And yes, consistency matters. No one is denying that. But when did it start mattering more than winning Grand Slams? This whole debate really comes down to what Player of the Year is supposed to represent. Is it about who had the best season based purely on numbers? Or is it about who achieved the most meaningful milestones? Those are two very different ways to judge a season, and depending on which one you prioritize, you get a different winner. If you focus strictly on statistics, Aryna Sabalenka has the strongest case. Most wins, most finals, most prize money earned through tournaments. She dominated the tour through consistency and volume. She was a threat at almost every event she entered. Players knew that drawing Sabalenka meant a long physical battle. That level of reliability matters. But if you're judging by peak moments and impact, Coco Gauff stands out. Grand Slams are the standard by which tennis greatness is measured. That's what players are remembered for. When we talk about legends of the game, we talk about how many majors they won, not how many WTA 250 events they entered. Prestige matters. And to make things even more complicated, Amanda Anisimova also had an outstanding year. She won 2 WTA 1000 titles, reached 2 Grand Slam finals at Wimbledon and the US Open, and cracked the top 10 for the first time. She was nominated for both Most Improved Player, which she won, and Player of the Year. While she was always a long shot compared to Sabalenka and Gauff, she still had a legitimate case. It's also important to note who actually decided this award. It wasn't the WTA organization itself, and it wasn't the players. The vote was conducted by international media members, meaning journalists and tennis writers reviewed the entire season and cast their ballots. Sabalenka won with 80% of the vote, which wasn't close. That tells you the media heavily values consistency and total performance over singular standout moments. Fans, however, care about different things. They want the big wins. They want drama, excitement, and moments that stick in your memory. A French Open final is unforgettable. Winning your 4th title at a random WTA 500 event? Not so much. No disrespect to those tournaments, but they're not what people remember years later. Since the announcement, social media has been a complete mess. Coco Gauff supporters are calling it a robbery. Sabalenka's fans are firing back with stats and numbers. Neutral fans are just sitting back and watching the chaos. It's peak tennis drama, and we're not even in the middle of a Grand Slam. Some fans have pointed out how dominant Coco's French Open run really was. She didn't scrape by with lucky wins. She played some of the best tennis of her career and made a statement. That victory showed she's no longer just a rising star. She's a true elite champion who can deliver when it matters most. Others argue that Sabalenka's consistency is actually harder to achieve than one big tournament win. Showing up every week, grinding through event after event, staying healthy, focused, and motivated all year long is incredibly demanding. Anyone can catch fire for 2 weeks and win a major. Doing it month after month takes a different kind of excellence. And honestly, both sides are right. That's why this debate is so frustrating. There's no clear, objective answer. It all depends on what you value in a season. The media and the WTA prioritize one set of standards, while a large portion of fans prioritize another. There's also the optics of the situation. Coco Gauff is young, American, black, and extremely marketable. She's the face of the next generation of tennis. She's bringing in new fans, expanding the sport's reach, and making tennis feel relevant to younger audiences. When she wins a Grand Slam but doesn't win Player of the Year, it sends mixed signals about what the sport truly values. That's not to say anything unfair or intentional happened. Sabalenka earned her recognition. But from the outside, the messaging feels confusing, especially when Coco is being celebrated at the same time as the highest-paid female athlete and the 8th highest earner in tennis history. Sabalenka, for her part, likely isn't bothered by the noise. She's been through this before. She won Player of the Year last season, too, and there was criticism then as well. She's focused on her tennis and continuing to add trophies. Becoming just the 3rd player in 15 years to win this award twice proves her dominance isn't accidental. She's also now 12th all-time in weeks spent at world number 1. She held the top ranking for the entire 2025 season, which is incredibly difficult. Staying number 1 requires defending points, staying healthy, and maintaining elite performance week after week. It's mentally and physically exhausting. Meanwhile, fans are still losing their minds. Twitter is basically a battlefield. You've got Coco supporters saying things like Grand Slams don't matter anymore and the WTA hates success. On the other side, Sabalenka fans are firing back with stats and numbers. It's chaotic, but if you're not emotionally invested, it's also kind of entertaining. Looking back at past eras helps explain why this feels so heated. When Serena Williams was at her peak, she won Player of the Year whenever she was healthy, but Serena was winning multiple Grand Slams while also dominating everywhere else. She had both peak achievements and consistency, so there was no debate. In 2025, that's not the case. We have multiple players excelling in different ways. Sabalenka dominated in volume, Coco Gauff dominated in prestige, and Anisimova had a breakout season no one expected. That makes these decisions much harder. It's also worth mentioning that Coco probably isn't as upset as her fans. She has her French Open trophy. She's earned $33 million. She has endorsement deals everywhere. She's the face of tennis, regardless of whether she wins Player of the Year. That award is nice, but it won't define her legacy. Grand Slams will. And that might be the most important takeaway. In 20 years, people will remember who won the Grand Slams in 2025. They won't remember who won Player of the Year. History remembers major championships. That's what lasts. So while Aryna Sabalenka absolutely deserves recognition for her incredible season, and while the numbers fully support her winning this award, the backlash isn't completely unreasonable. Fans care about the biggest moments, and Coco Gauff delivered the biggest one by winning the French Open. That tension was inevitable. The WTA might want to be clearer about how these awards are decided, because right now it feels inconsistent. Some years Grand Slams matter most, other years consistency wins out. That uncertainty creates confusion and controversy. At the end of the day, both players had phenomenal seasons. Sabalenka was the most consistent and dominant presence on tour. Gauff won the most prestigious title and became a global superstar. Choosing one over the other was always going to spark drama, and here we are. So, that's the story. The WTA named Aryna Sabalenka Player of the Year, and Coco Gauff's fans are in full meltdown mode online. Was it the right decision? That depends on what you value. Either way, the drama is real, and tennis fans are not holding back. If you enjoyed the chaos, hit that like button, subscribe for more tennis drama, and drop your hottest takes below.